Okay, we are back for episode 2, part 2 of the Been Here podcast with Morgan Scott. So Morgan, in the first episode we talked all about what brought you here. You have gone to school in China, you did theater there, you did community theater, you came to Juilliard, you were acting, you were doing the thing. Let's talk about sort of your most recent history and where you are now. So 2 years ago or 3 you were in Jaja's?
That was 2023.
So 3 years ago
3 years ago,
now,
yeah.
you were an understudy in Jaja's African Hair Braiding
Mhm.
by Jocelyn Bio.
Mhm.
What was that understudy process like? What was it to get cast in an understudy role on Broadway?
Yeah. So that was my first post grad credit. And a phenomenal, amazing experience from start to finish for me personally. Um, the audition. So yeah, we'll start with the audition process. So I auditioned for like a role that I didn't end up understudying, and I only auditioned once. So, well, actually, that's not true. I did the self tape first, and then came in for a callback, and then like 4 months later, that was February, and then February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, like June, July. So 4 or 5 months later, I got a call from my reps like, "Would you be interested?" And understanding for Miriam and Maria, I was like, yeah.
On the Broadway,
Yeah.
duh.
I was like, yeah. I was like, wait,
Duh.
they don't want to like see me again? And they're just
Yeah.
like, no, like, offer. Um, and then the offstage cast, we came into the process um a couple weeks into rehearsal. So tech
Mhm.
week. So on stage cast, they had rehearsals for a minute, and then we came into the process when everyone moved to the theater, and it was a lot of fun to be able to see tech happen for, I mean, mind you, so this is my first time in a Broadway
Yeah.
process
Was this your
experience.
first play out of undergrad, or how
Yeah,
long were
first,
you?
you're right, so I had like no
Okay.
credits, nothing.
How long were you out of Juilliard before you got cast?
That was a year.
A year. Okay,
Yeah,
so a
so
year out.
I've been a year out. And in that interim time I had done BADA, British American Dramatic Academy, for a month. So like still, and it was kind of pandemic-y, and the
Yeah,
strike
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah, yeah.
happened, so it was just life
What did
left.
I do with my life?
So yeah, I've been like a year out. So I was happy to be there. Yeah, I was like, wow, like,
I'm
and it's everybody's
here.
black and
Yes. Oh my
beautiful, and
gosh.
um and the play is so funny, and yeah, so I was just loving like being able to watch everyone work and watch Whitney direct and watch Jocelyn, make edits like on the fly and give out the new pages. And um there's three other understudies who like became just my heroes in the process also, and we really bonded during that time too, because it's not always a given that you, because it is a job at the end of the day, and so you don't have to like
Like your
the yeah,
coworkers.
exactly,
Yeah.
but like we genuinely liked each other, so that was amazing. And like liked each other and looked out for each other too, just like not like we would talk about life and the industry, and you know um Abigail C. Owunali, who is now in the uh, amazing Broadway production of Joe Turner's Coming On as Martha Pentecost. Um, she had also recently graduated. I mean, like months before starting Jaja. So I had a year out. She had like a couple months, but then just being able to bond over like processing conservative, because that's something that like maybe we want to get into, of like
Mhm.
going to conservatory and then unlearning certain things, like that transition from school, the bubble of conservatory, to the mountain of the industry. So like being able to process and work through unlearning a couple of stuff. And Victoire, who then went on to like play Jaja in the tour, she had gone to NYU. Um, and so then being able to like, yeah, relate to her, or her relate to us, and be able to like give wisdom and insight, and just like empathy in that way. It was just, yeah, a really sweet time. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Hmm.
that. What were some things you had to unlearn from Juilliard? I mean, you went to a school that's oftentimes touted as like the pantheon of artistic success, and then you came out and you were like, oh, yes, I can take these things that I learned, but these are things that I might need to throw away or tweak or
Yeah.
get rid of.
Yeah. Um, so I like chuckled when I hear like pantheon of artistic.
You like that? You know I'm a writer.
What?
That was a good one. I know. What are those words called? Similes or
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
know things.
um, Also, I don't know. Again, maybe this is also just my singular experience, but I have a feeling that it's not because I think I've talked to like other of my classmates and um uh those who were there at the same time, around the same time, that I don't know if any of us really think of it in that way. Like, yes, of course, like that's part of like I think we're hungry to hone in on the craft and do what we love to do, kind of like what I was talking about with me when I was younger. Of There really is not that much ego involved of like, oh yes, we're like I
I
hate
went to
how
the
that, yeah,
yard.
right, like I hate how it
Oh,
has that perception of
yeah.
like, oh yes, like
Juilliard.
exactly, people would like joke with me of like,
Yeah.
yes, niggas, like we not walking around, maybe there are some people, right, but like as for me and my household, like
You said I'm just
most
here
of
to
us,
work.
I'm here
I'm here to
to
learn a skill and
work
work and do the
and
craft.
do it to
Yeah.
the best of my
Amen.
ability, right? And to like steward this gift that I've been given and like steward it well. Um, I think it is an environment that can inflame the ego because of
The esteem.
exactly because of that and the eyes that are on it, and also just when it is a really special opportunity to be able to focus on one particular or like a craft so intently,
So singularly.
yeah, for an elongated period of time, but then also in that like how do I want to say this, like I feel like with any, I used to say all the time that like Juilliard is like very monastic in
Mm.
nature, like you're isolated, or even just not just Juilliard but just arts conservatories, like 13-hour days
For
focus
3 years, 4 years, right? For 4 for
4 years
Juilliard.
for
Yeah.
4 years with the same
People. Day
people
in and day
and with
out.
a really like a microscope on you to whenever, yeah, it's a craft, whenever you're crafting something
There's
and like
chiseling.
there's
There's
chiseling, there's
forming.
pruning, there's forming,
Mm-hmm.
and so then it's gonna like, yeah,
Hurt.
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna like bring some stuff to the surface that you then have the choice to either
Address or not.
address or just let it, right, and so then that just depends on the person, so it's gonna like bring all the same stuff up, but then you could either say like, oh no, like we gotta like put that to like
Mm-hmm.
we gotta uproot that and investigate that, and or then it could be, oh no, yeah, this is
I'm
just
gonna
how I
shove
am,
it back down.
shove it back down, that's
Yeah.
another thing, but of course we know the things that we shove down are gonna
Come up
spill
again
out,
some kind
yes,
of
some
way.
kind of way, or it's like, oh no, yeah, this is a part of my personality, or
Mm-hmm.
like there's nothing I can do about this, whether you think that consciously or subconsciously, and
Mm-hmm.
that's that. So yeah, I
What's
don't
the
know if that
thing?
answered
No,
your
no, no.
question at
We can
all,
dig deeper
child.
into it. What is
Yeah.
the thing that you learned about yourself that you're like, oh, I should address that? If you want to share, I recognize that was so deep. We can skip that question.
No, no, let me think. Let me think. What are some things that I should address that? Well, okay. So something that like came up a lot, that to be honest, okay, finish one thought at a time. No, I'll go to the thought that came to mind. Jasmine Johnson, who's also of South Carolina, Juilliard, kindred.
Girly.
Yeah. She said one time when maybe I was like first or second year. I don't even think she was talking directly to me. It was just a like panel discussion or something of alum. She was like, "Well, yeah," and it was in passing. It wasn't even like she was making a point, but it just really stuck with me. And she was like, yeah, there's certain things that like, you know, I started learning here, or I realized I needed to learn here, that like to this day I'm still like working through.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I can be very like perfection oriented,
Same.
like
Like,
where,
I did it. I'm done.
and I
I'm
want
better.
like
I'm
hello
on to
and
the next.
on to
All right.
the
What else?
next. Like what
You and me
is
both, sister.
next?
I
Right?
fixed that.
I fit like very much so a fixer. Like
I'm perfect now until I find the next
like
thing that I will
linear.
fix.
Exactly. Very linear. And then realizing that like, okay, life is not all, and growth is not all.
Hate it.
Growth is not always linear. So like I think that's also part of the reason why I had a visceral reaction to that, of like, dang, the things like I don't want to think about
Mm.
something that I had to like learn or like acknowledge, because those things
I'm
I'm
still
not wrapped up.
learning.
Yeah, I think when they came to the
Yeah,
surface, I
yeah.
was like, oh, like we gonna like by the
Mhm.
time by 2022 when I get that diploma and walk across the stage in my cap and gown, like we will be perfect.
Mhm.
It's like, no, sister girl, like
Yeah.
you got a lot to but anyways, one of my teachers said to me, said, ladies and gentlemen, this is like artistic and life kind of.
Yeah.
He said, ladies and gentlemen do not make good actors. Okay, like what you mean by that? Like okay, it's like ladies and gentlemen do not make good actors. Like it politeness, um, we'll just use the word politeness has its place
Mhm.
in life, but like when you get on that stage, like
Because I want
when
to see the
you
obstacle.
you want to see the obstacle, you want to see exactly, he said, you don't go to the theater to see uh neat,
Easy.
to see easy,
Simple.
to
Yeah.
see simple, exactly. So that was always, I think, being someone who wants to get things right, wants things
Be
to be neat,
perfect.
wants
Simple
things
in
to
a
be
box.
perfect.
You're like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. And then to the like life part of it, of then another one of my teachers was like, be careful that you're not like, you don't go under the radar, that you don't let things just like speak up for yourself. I'm like, I heard that a lot. Like speak up. I'm like, I don't have nothing to say.
What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I do, and we've talked about this. Just like person, like I have a less direct personality, and then I would really fight that no a lot of times, because I felt like it came from a place of people expecting me to like be this like da, 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 like
Because you are black.
because I'm black, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, not every single
I'm actually kind of shy.
Yeah, like, and I'm not even shy.
Yeah,
just like,
but I'm just
yeah,
not. I'm quiet.
I'm quiet.
I'm introspective.
I'm introspective. That's the
Yes.
word.
Let
Like,
me think.
let me think. I'm a processor. Like when I have something to say,
I will say
I
it.
promise y'all, I will say it. But then also, of course, like everything has two sides to it. Then I can also be honest with myself and be like, no, yeah, there definitely are like that way of being raised of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Sometimes you just have to say the thing that's not nice. Like sometimes, or else like
You'll get stepped on.
or else you'll get stepped on, or just like things will get shoved down and not addressed, and then they'll leak out. So then that's something that I've had to learn of, like when I was talking about this with one of my classmates recently, of like he used to always ask me when we're in school, like, Morgan, do you get angry about anything? Like, are you ever angry?
People ask me that too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Teddy was like, I want to see you angry. And I was like, why? He was like, because you just seem so happy. And I was like, am I not a full human? They were like, he was like, what do you look like when you're like furious? And I'm like, I don't know. Do you want me to punch you? Like, I can flip a table. Like, why do you want to see me angry?
So bad. Like,
So bad.
So
I don't get it.
Like,
I'm like
exactly.
a happy,
So
quirky, jolly girl.
like I'm so
No, we're the same. Because I'm like, what do you want me to do? Scream? Ah.
No, exactly. But then realize it, like I think there is validity to like being like, no, like I'm literally just like this is just who I am, and that's okay. And also being honest with myself, and I have grown a lot in that regard of like, no, if something makes me angry, uncomfortable, or whatever, like I can express that. I can, you know, advocate for
Mhm.
myself. I can, um, yeah, insert myself
Speak up.
into the
Yeah.
space. So yeah, that's one.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I'm like rewinding. We always get into so much. I'm like,
I
okay,
know,
where were
right?
we? We
That's
were
it.
talking about
Yeah.
Juilliard, things you
Juilliard.
addressed. Let's go to what did you learn at Juilliard that served you in your understudy role? And then we'll get into one of your leading roles.
Mm. This thing that I learned at Juilliard that served me in understudy role.
Or your career. It doesn't have to specifically be related to jazz.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so much. I really value. Oh, and we were also talking about like unlearning. What are things that I had to unlearn
Mm-hmm.
um from school that don't necessarily serve? And I don't know if I touched on that at all, but doing things the like right way. But I think this is more so just like my own personal thing because I did come from like academics first type of and like being a good student, and then hence my teacher is saying, ladies and gentlemen, do not make good actors. And so I'm still because I valued the education and like all the tools that I got. It's like it's a lot of 13 hours a day for 4 years. That's a lot of tools that you're
Mm-hmm.
gathering. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like when you get an audition and you got a 24-hour turnaround, you
Right.
can't really
Right. I don't need the hammer and the chisel and the
don't
tape
need
measure and the
it. It's really
screwdriver.
just
It's like,
giving
what can
throw
I
your
do right now?
what
Yeah.
can I do right now? Just go off of gut and instinct. And so I think that's one of the main things. And then something that yeah, all all of the formation from that school, I think has made me into who I am today. But it's like still getting back to um child, I lost the thought. I don't know what I was
Yeah.
trying to
Still
say.
getting back to your authentic
Yeah,
self.
exactly.
You're
There we
like
go.
your
There we go. There we
childlike.
go.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. There we go.
I'm an
Relaxing
active
left in.
listener. I'm an active listener.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, and then another um tidbit of wisdom from a teacher or like a phrase that is always floating around in my schema is hold on tightly, let go lightly, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is just like a life. People say that in general, but Evan would say that all the time in our scene study class. And so, with understudying in particular, you it's things could change, especially with a new play. Also, like you're watching rehearsal one day, you're watching tech, and then they go into previews, and then notes are being given, and then the next day things could be totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And so then being okay with like going home, locking something in, coming back, and then being like, oh shoot, the thing that I just locked in is like no
Gotta
longer a thing.
change. Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
like you have to be malleable,
Fluid.
you have to
Yeah.
be fluid, you have to be flexible. So that was really valuable. And then also just the very unique um, disposition of staying ready so you don't have to get ready, but then also waiting in that.
Mm-hmm.
So always being ready. It is really, and I'm sure anyone else who has ever understudied understands that very unique balance of being full of energy and readiness, but like knowing how to not let that
Harness
drive
it.
you,
Yeah.
harness it, and not
Yeah.
letting that drive you crazy. Like I'm ready to go, I'm ready to like
Yeah.
when is it? But then also like that
And
could
did
never
you go
come.
on
I went on
once in the whole
once
run?
in the whole
And you were
run, yes,
ready. And
and
how
I
was
was
that?
well. That was, I mean, I found out 2 hours beforehand.
That
And
you're about
had
to make your
to.
Broadway
I was
debut.
about to make my
Oh
Broadway
my
debut.
God, I
They
would
didn't
have
even have
thrown
time.
up.
I didn't even have time to like. I blacked out. I blacked
Oh.
out, like genuinely blacked out, because I had to get to the theater for them to test a wig. Like they
Yeah.
hadn't even fully finished
Yeah.
um, creating my wig for that character and everything. So it was exhilarating. It definitely was. It was
So do you remember
exhilarating.
anything from that first like performance?
No, I
You
literally don't. I remember. No, I literally
Yeah.
don't. Like I remember the dress and like the shoes. We had a turntable that turned, and I had never gotten a chance to like be on the turntable. So I just thinking like, don't fall, girl. Please don't
Please don't
fall.
fall.
Yeah. Um, It was the show has so much levity, so I just remember like feeling like
Going through it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then there's a couple moments. So that the character that I went on for has this really beautiful scene where she's doing micro braids
Mm-hmm.
for a customer, and then it's just them two in the shop. This is coming back to me now. There was a because I knew that I would have to be because some of the ladies are not actually braiding, but Miriam, she is
Braiding.
braiding. So I had my little doll head. I was practicing doing the braids. Um, and there's a little bit of hair magic that happens to where you can do like a time lapse of it all. So it seems like she's braided more than like you've actually braided. But I definitely had to. I had practice and I practiced, but I had never done it on the stage. And so then there was something that like had malfunctioned. So I was like making the best with what I could. I had to like zhuzh it a little bit, but yeah, exhilarating.
And how do you navigate that particular experience of like you were at home practicing these braids, not knowing if you were actually going to go on, and you
Yeah,
had to
exactly.
continue to practice in the
That's
hopes that you might go on.
exactly.
What was
That's what
that?
I'm saying. Like there's a
Yeah,
very unique
that's crazy.
balance.
Yeah.
Which to be honest, I think is a big part of being a working actor in general because so much of what we do, like you're having to always audition
Mm-hmm.
without knowing
Will I
whether it
book?
will
When will I book? Yeah,
exactly. So that I think we're always
in
kind
that
of
sort of
living in that
state. Yeah.
tension.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's something that I like just realized. So I think it's helpful, like the sooner we're able to
Like
live in that
articulate that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just yeah, learn how to live within that, which is something that I'm still learning how to do. And again, things are not linear all the time. It is a roller coaster and the ebb and flow of everything. um so yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think that actually answers the
No,
question because I
that
don't
was
think I
great.
have an answer necessarily, but it is just it's a very real thing, and I think it is not just exclusive to understudying. I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah.
It's the whole industry of it all.
The
I
whole
mean,
industry of it.
I started a podcast. I'm like, what am I gonna do between self-producing and I think did I turn my own mic
Uh
off?
oh,
Yes, I
you
did.
did.
What am I gonna do between self-producing and like being a semifinalist and a
Mhm.
finalist before a big production of something? How
Mhm.
do I keep the
Feel
artistic
your
engine running?
yeah,
Filling
yeah,
my cup.
yeah, yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Let's get into John Proctor as the villain.
All right.
So then after Jaja's, it was 2 years until John Proctor, or a year and a half.
It was like a year and a half.
Well, no,
So
you did Mud in
I
between
did
those two things. That was my
Mud.
show.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
Mud, which was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Directed by Autumn
Angeletti, I'm gonna see you on the pod,
Angeletti,
girl.
who then I worked with again on John Proctor.
hmm
Yeah, it was like a year. A year. Yep. 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 Yep.
Were
It was
you were in the audition process for John? No, 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 no. Mud was over by the time you started auditioning for John Proctor.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, because Mud finished like August, right?
Yeah.
And then auditioned for John Proctor in like November, October, November.
hmm
Um, yes, and then started the like rehearsal process for that in February.
hmm
Yeah, of
And what
last
was
year.
that like? You auditioned, you got cast as one of the leads. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I read the script and I had heard about it when it was at Huntington at yeah, right? The Huntington. And I was like, okay, yeah, that like sounds I didn't read the script then when I heard about it, but I was like, okay. When it came back around, I was like, oh, I remember when they did that at Huntington. Let me actually like read it. I see it's like popping up a lot. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm always moving around.
This is written in the voice of me and like my friends when we were in school in 2018. And this is so rare to read a script that is um not trying to be something but just
Is this
is.
something? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm very drawn to things that are not trying to be something, they just are. I was like, I have to audition for this. Like I like this there is no separation between this thing that I'm reading and myself. Like I'm Joe. I'm Cinderella. Like I'm in the show. And so then I did a tape for it, and that year I was really working my advocate for myself muscle, which now I think I went to now it's getting into like forcing. So now I'm like trying to find the balance of like stillness. But anyways, I had mentioned it to my reps, um, and eventually
That you wanted to audition, or
yeah,
okay.
and did the tape. And then got invited into the room, and then I was walking to the room, and Autumn was there. I said, "What,
my girl?"
I said, "Ariana, what are you doing?" And Danya and Kimberly were so warm and just like I was like, wow, this room is just uh full of warmth.
Creative energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yes, creative energy, but also just like having worked with Danya and Kimberly now, like they are like giggle bots. Like the two of them together, because I don't know how long I guess they had known each other up until then, but then yeah, like throughout the whole process of John Proctor, just seeing them like get closer, they're just like two peas in a pod, and it's like so cute to watch them together. So of course I didn't know that at the time, but now looking back in retrospect, like they were just enjoying,
just girls, you're like on stage, yeah,
exactly, exactly. So at this point in time, because it had been like almost a year since I had done Jajas, and so there was lots of ups and downs throughout. It was a really hard year for me. And yeah, have been in some rooms that were maybe like not so warm or what have you. So then it was a pleasant surprise to like walk into a space that was like, oh,
inviting.
like this inviting, and like this just feels like
girly pops on
girly
stage.
pops on stage.
Okay,
right?
the
And it felt
production,
like that, and it felt
gymnastics
like
girls.
exactly, gymnastics girls, and it felt like that in my Jaja's audition too. And it also had like just really struck me in the Jaja's audition. I didn't know if it was like okay to say. I was like, I don't know if it's stepping out of bounds. I like literally said that. I was like, but it is blowing my mind that this is my first, because that was my first callback that I had since I had been auditioning, but that was the first callback that I had in a room for theater. Also, I think maybe that was also the first theater show that I auditioned for. Anyways, I was like, it was Erica Hart was
casting.
Yeah, was one of the casting directors on it. Then Whitney and Jocelyn, obviously, and then it was produced. Taraji was one of the producers. I was like, it is blowing my mind that like I get to be in a callback room that is run by Black women.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're talking about Jajas. You're back to Jajas.
I'm back
Sorry.
to Jajas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't take that lightly. But then I'm saying that the energy that I felt in the John Proctor room was also similar. Like,
got it.
Okay. These are little girls who fell in love with the theater, who
living their dreams,
who are living their dreams, and we get to do the
together,
yeah, with resources. And then I even remember before we did our first rehearsal for John Proctor, we had like a day of photo shoot press day to film promo and shoot a lot of the materials that like went on to be used throughout the process for promo press. And we were in some school in Queens, but it was like a full shoot day with the costumes and all that good stuff, the whole film crew. And then Kimberly was just like, I can't believe this like thing that was just in my
from
head.
your brain. Yeah.
All these people.
Yeah.
This whole, because
it was the coolest experience.
It was a legit film crew. She's like, all these like people are here for my little idea. So yeah, that's been really cool to be a part of experiences that are just birthed from a pure
brain baby.
Purity. Yeah, like a pure desire just to like
tell a story,
to tell a story and to tell it well. And to do it surrounded by other people who are invested in the story and who are just kind too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you've had a lot of success. You've had some highs. I love hearing about them. It was so cool. I was like, oh my God, that's my friend on a billboard. That's crazy. What is something that you are struggling with or working on or working through right now in your career? It's been a year and some change since Thing There has closed. John Proctor
Mhm.
has closed.
Mhm.
What are
Mm,
you
yeah.
working through right now?
Yes, so much, so much. The working through never stops because
Hmm.
even
Keep
during
talking.
these, yeah, during these billboard moments or what, like that still actually is like, yeah. Um, the work was still happening. The work,
Because you're still auditioning for your next
you're
show.
still,
Yeah.
that never stops. Like never ever stops. And then also like for those of us who are, craftsmen, like I'm still not like, if I could go back to school, I would. And like I think, a lot of us are like still in class and
Hmm.
still, I love being surrounded by actors who inspire me and challenge me and make me want to get on my Zoom. Like the work really never stops. Um so, okay, what's one like concrete, tangible thing that I can like say that I have been working on, I am working on. Um, yeah, I think just that thing of managing. I mean, because there's literally so much, and I feel like me, you, and then like Aaron, like we're talking about it
All the
all the
time. All the
time,
time. All the
right? Like
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
There's so much. Staying encouraged.
Mm.
Um, to like show up, um even when things don't pan out the way that like you hope or think that they should or whatever it may be. Then also for me, like it is hard because I am a introvert and a homebody, and I don't like talking about myself. I don't like being the center of attention in any way. So getting back to that place, that childlike place where I was as a young girl of like, this is just me and there is no ego involved, like is really a healthy place to be, because because there it is a business, like I do have to be okay
Mhm.
with
Being seen.
yeah, with
Yeah.
being seen, with being something that like, yeah, Aaron and I talk about like being perceived, like that thing of perception. Because as we get older and we all accumulate baggage and wounds and um yeah, fear gets mixed into there. And so I think a big challenge of mine in this next season, and something that yeah, has been like coming up, of just like getting rid of some of that like fear-based mentality and just like creating and existing from a place of freedom.
Mhm.
um yeah, not worrying about perception. And I think from that place there is more of a willingness to be seen, a more of a it will just like naturally come, um to where I'm more inclined to be like, yeah, no, like these are the things that I've done, and like these